I think that's the best idea. So far, of all the things I've personally done, I prefer it over anything else. And so when I go out running, I I got my dog with me, and we take off running, and then he likes to run, so it's wonderful because then he pulls me along, and I'm running as fast as I can, but I only do it for like 10 to 12 seconds. And then we'll walk slowly for a little while, and I'll hold on to him, and then I'll say, "Okay, go!" And then we take off, go running again for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a great way to do it. And then
And there he is, Dr. Saunders.
hey,
Good
wow,
morning, good afternoon. How are you?
wow, that's beautiful.
I'm
Your
just chilling
your
here
your
on the
your house in
waterfall.
Arizona is nice.
Yeah, we just had a professional photographer take our pictures, and I've only seen 3 of them so far.
Yeah.
Good one. So yeah, well, welcome everyone. We're gonna give a minute or two here to let people hop on and join us for the Fixed Blood Sugar webinar. It's a beautiful day here in May. It's already May. Wow. The weather sure has not felt like May or April. I think April was like the windiest month we've had, the month of April, at least for like 45 years. My wife sent me that little tidbit of information here in South Dakota anyways. So windy. Uh, Dr. Saunders is muted. I don't know if he's got some background
Yeah, issues.
issues. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Well, Leslie normally would be kicking us off, but she is going to be running a little bit late today. And I think she's talked about her knee issues. She had a little scope the other day, so she's doing some PT with that. So, but yeah, today we're going to get right into diabetes. Type 2 is what we cover. Oh, I got my green screen behind me. So the diabetes solution kit, if I keep it in front of me, it works like that. So this is what we get into. 10th edition right here, that we've had this for probably 12 years now or more. And back when we first launched the diabetes solution kit, we had no idea that would become our number one best-selling product and really become the market that we serve the most people in and help the most people with. So it's been fun. Like, this is, I think, number 138, webinar 138 that we've done, and we have learned so much together over the time and the 2.5 years here. And so yeah, it's been great. And so we've got a lot of people that join us, are on right now live, many that have been with us for multiple episodes, and some that are brand new. So welcome to everybody. And we are gonna, so just a little housekeeping. If you're watching this recording later, you can go register at bartonwebinar.com and sign up to get email notifications. You can join us on Zoom, get your own questions answered. And that is what we devote the majority of this call to, is Dr. Saunders taking your questions and helping you on your journey to reverse type 2. We also love to hear your stories and testimonials from how we've helped you, or the products have helped you, or different things like that. It's always encouraging to hear people that have, practiced what we've preached and found success. So there's, in the chat, you're welcome to share that. And we also have opportunity to hop on a one-on-one Zoom call with Leslie. Usually she does that, and we just hear your story and then we share it with people. So we've got a YouTube channel with, I think, 12 people now that have hopped on with us and shared their story. It's so encouraging. I mean, we hear testimonials almost every day from people through email or phone. or through the webinar here. And we love to hear that. People that their blood sugars were out of control, 300, 400, and now down to low 100s or even under 100, using the advice from the Diabetes Solution Kit and Dr. Saunders. So it's a great community. Happy to have you here. Couldn't do it without you, and wouldn't do it without you. That's what we're here for. So Dr. Saunders, if you could give a little disclaimer, it's always good coming from you how that works.
Okay, so the information that we give here, you have to think about. This is general information for a lot of different people, and it might apply to you, but it might not. So it's kind of important that whatever information you take here, you apply properly. And usually you may need help. You might have to go to a doctor or practitioner, someone, an expert, to say, oh yeah, that should work for you, or no, that's for something else. So just remember, it's general information. I try to make that clear when if someone asks a specific question, that this is for a specific instance.
Yeah. So I may have started off like this before, but let's pretend you are seeing a new patient. They come in and you diagnose them with type 2 diabetes. How do you explain that? What do you say to your patients when they get started, and what are the most common questions that they would have?
Okay, so that's a really good question, because the first time somebody comes in and says, I have diabetes, I ask them, how do you know you have diabetes? Well, my doctor said, why? What came up? My blood sugar was high. Okay, so then why do you have diabetes? Well, I don't know. Okay, so then you don't have a diagnosis yet. So the diagnosis has to include why. So what's going on? Do you have, or is your pancreatic islet cells, the pancreas, did it stop making insulin? Is that what the problem is? Or do you have insulin resistance that is so off the charts? Your insulin is 150, which I have seen before. Normal is like 5, 3, 4, 5, up to 10. And I have seen somebody with an insulin of 150. So knowing why you have diabetes helps you to know what to do about it. So that's what I do, is when somebody first comes in, I test, and I do a whole bunch of tests. I do a whole battery of tests, and it's going to include their blood count and their kidney function and their liver function and their pancreas function. It's going to look at hormones like insulin and cortisol, DHEA, the adrenal function. It's going to look at a lot of different things so that I can answer the question why. So when someone comes into me after I've seen them once and I've determined what tests they need and I do the tests, then I can say, okay, you have diabetes because you're producing too much insulin and you have high stress hormone levels, and therefore you have a insulin resistance type 2 stress-induced or made worse by stress diabetes problem. Now that's a diagnosis. Now they have a diagnosis because they know why it's there. So so what do we do? Well, then when you know why, you know exactly what to do. It makes it easy. If you have that kind of a situation, dude, you got to reduce stress. Okay, that's part of the deal. But you also have insulin resistance. So I'm going to put you on this very low carbohydrate diet, and then you can functionally decline in the insulin resistance. So you get more insulin sensitivity over time, and then that is what fixes the problem. But if somebody comes in and I test them and they have 0 insulin, then I'm like, dude, your pancreas is not making insulin. So what is your option? Well, you have to inject insulin. Yes, that's what you have to do because you don't make any. So that's where the beauty of modern medicine is. We can test for anything now, and we don't have to guess. That's most people, when they have a diagnosis, it's really a guess. It's not a real thing. And sometimes just having high blood sugar is not diabetes at all. Sometimes it's just hyperglycemia because of something you ate, because of an immediate stressful event or something like that. And it's not a chronic problem, and it's not diabetes. So just having a high blood sugar does not diabetes make. So getting a proper diagnosis will then tell you what to do. So most people have a problem of type 2, which is too much. And too much what? It's too much everything. Too much sugar, too much fat, too much protein, too much insulin, and then not enough exercise. Too much sitting around. And so this combination of factors enters into the diabetes epidemic. And the epidemic of diabetes is that it is the fastest growing illness in the United States, in the industrialized world anyway, and most other areas of the world too. It's growing rather rapidly. So, and that is your cells are just jam-packed with energy, sugar mostly, and they're so packed full of energy that they block the diabetes receptors so that they can't get more sugar into the cell, just to keep it out, going, whoa, we're full here, we're done, we don't need any more. So they block out the insulin. And that's what we call insulin resistance. So once you're insulin resistant, you got to think, you have this cell full of sugar. What are you going to do? How are you going to get rid of that sugar? Well, the best way is to use it. And the way you use it is what? Exercise. So exercising is an excellent thing to do, and it's really important. And I would almost say the more the better, but you can't overdo it. But you can't overdo walking. Walking is a great exercise, and you can't overdo it. You can go 5 miles a day and go, okay, that's good. And 10 miles a day is even better. And 20 miles a day is even better. If you look at the blue zones where people live longer, one important thing is walking, and it's walking a lot. Like they're on their feet all day long, walking, going places, doing things, tending sheep or whatever they do. But walking. And so if you want to use up all that excess energy that's stored in your cells and that's creating this problem of type 2, then an important thing you can do is exercise, and walking is a great way to do that. But if you like other things, running, swimming, yoga, Pilates, whatever strikes your fancy that's active and using up energy is great. Then the other thing is don't put any more in, because you've got it's full, and you've even got often extra fat on there to store even more energy. So not putting any more in is the other half of that equation. So both use up more and then don't put any more in. So if you look at your diabetes solution kit that you got, the phase 1 is really all it's about. It's really, really simple. Don't put any more in. Just stop putting sugar into the machine so that you don't overload it even more and more and more. And then that allows you to start using up all that excess sugar. And then at that point, you can start changing your diet to the point of adding in foods that you normally wouldn't eat. So that's the basic.
That's great. So I wanted to ask, why is type 2 diabetes serious, and why is it something that somebody would want to take care of?
Okay. um, because there are so many complications and problems with it. So number one, energy. If you have high insulin levels, insulin blocks you from using fat for energy. So there are certain cells in your body that aren't going to work very well because they don't have enough fat. And so insulin is has that kind of effect over a long period of time. And then you're not going to get enough energy into your brain and heart and kidneys. So the kidneys start dying. The number one cause of dialysis in the United States is due to type 2 diabetes. So this high blood sugar over a long period of time diminishes the ability for the kidneys to get sugar into the cells. Well, it's not just the kidneys, it's the brain. The number one cause of Alzheimer's or dementia is high blood sugar or type 2. And so this metabolic problem that we call diabetes has multiple effects. It causes heart disease, kidney disease, it causes neuropathy. In the nursing home where I used to work, we would have a lot of people there who had amputations of their feet and legs. Amputations are terrible because it happens, there's not enough circulation. If there's not enough circulation, then the tissues aren't getting any blood flow to them. And you get a lot of pain, neuropathy, a lot of pain. And then even after they cut it off, there's not enough circulation to heal that area where they cut it off. So often they have to do one, and then they have to cut it again, and they have to cut it again until they get to a place where there's enough circulation to heal it. So the number one reason for amputations in the United States is diabetes. So this is something you really want to take care of. This is not something you want to just say, oh, it's no big deal, because I don't feel bad. Oh, I pee a little more, big deal. No, it is a big deal. Don't wait until you have neuropathy or Alzheimer's or kidney disease before you go, gee, I better do something about this, right? This is a good idea to work on now.
Yeah. Also high risk of stroke and blindness is another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot.
I think it's the number one cause of blindness.
Yeah.
In the United States. In the world, the number one cause of blindness is vitamin A deficiency.
Oh,
but I think in the United States, the number one cause of blindness is diabetes.
Yeah. Interesting.
Not a small thing.
You talked about exercise, and we're actually going to be creating some exercise videos because we don't really have that right now. And I have a good friend who just graduated from college, and she's going into she wants to be a strength coach at a university, and she's going to be doing an internship with a school soon. But she was looking for like some work this summer. I'm like, hey, let's make some exercise videos. And so we're going to do the Tabata or HIIT, the HIIT videos, just like 4-minute warm up, 4-minute workout, 4-minute cool down. And like this, we're going to start with 12 of those and then send those out to our customers to use and try. And if they like them, those are like 12 minutes a day. Maybe you want to do 2 a day, but you can do, just body weight types of things. And depending on your levels, you can add weights to it if you want or whatever. But I think that's going to be a good way to get people moving a little bit more. So I'll probably be picking your brain a little bit more on that here very soon with Mariah helping out on that. But so, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. But do you still besides walking, do you think that short bursts of high intensity interval training is a good idea?
I think that's the best idea. So far, of all the things I've personally done, I prefer it over anything else. And so when I go out running, I got my dog with me, and we take off running. And then he likes to run, so it's wonderful because then he pulls me along, and I'm running as fast as I can. But I only do it for like 10 to 12 seconds. And then we'll walk slowly for a little while, and I'll hold on to him, and then I'll say, okay, go, and then we take off, go running again for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a great way to do it. And then the other thing I like doing as far as the high intensity intervals is just regular calisthenics. I'll do sit-ups as many as I can fit into 10 seconds. And, I set the alarm and just do as fast as I can for 10 seconds. And then pull-ups as many as I can for 10 seconds. And then push-ups as many as I can for 10 seconds. And rest in between about 30 seconds or maybe a minute. That kind of workout is the best way because it's been shown you reach, what you want to do is reach your Vmax, your maximum output that muscle can put, because that's where you get the benefits, is you have to reach the maximum output. But you don't have to sustain it for a long period of time. You just have to reach it, and then you're good. So that's why it's only like 10 seconds in this high intensity training. I think it's a wonderful idea. I do it myself.
Yeah, awesome. Barbie and Velo, hello. And they say they already do a HIIT program. What Velo used to do back in the day. It's about 15 total minutes. This has been a tremendous help in losing as much weight in only seven weeks. So Velo, also, my apologies that your wife has lost so much weight. She needs a new wardrobe, I heard. So that, like you said, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's always fun to get new clothes.
Gotta go shopping.
Yeah. Well, good stuff. I think we've had a few questions come in here. So why don't I put my glasses on and see what we've got here. So if you're watching us live on Zoom here, just put your questions in the Q&A section on the bottom there. If you put them in the chat, I might miss them. So let's do them in the Q&A. So, all right, from Steve. How long do you have to take the Synacroma before you start to see results? I've been taking it for about 2 months, and my blood sugar is still around 155 after fasting.
Okay, that is a great question. And thank you, Steve, for asking, because the purpose of the Synacroma is not specifically to lower your blood sugar. That's what phase 1 of the program is. So the book is how you lower your blood sugar. So you want your blood sugar to go down because those cells that are so packed full of sugar are starting to open up and go, hey, I've used up all my sugar, I need some more. And so they start opening up the insulin receptors so that you can bring sugar into the cell. And that's where your blood sugar then gets down into the normal range. So you're not putting any more sugar into your mouth than you need, and you're using up the sugar in your cells. So the purpose for Synacroma is not to specifically lower your blood sugar. It's to help to make sure that you have all the nutrients necessary for your body to use sugar properly. That's all. You can still overload your body with sugar by eating more. So that is the purpose of Synacroma. So and if used for its purpose, it's great. It's something, I don't have diabetes, but I take it because it has the things in it that are necessary, but are often deficient. And I've tested like thousands of people, and I know that almost everybody's deficient in these nutrients.
Yeah. Okay, in case you're wondering, thanks for asking. Let's see. Synacroma, it's a translucent version here. This is our #1 selling blood sugar support formula, and does exactly what Dr. Saunders just said, that he's tested thousands of people, and it meets those nutritional deficiencies and minerals and nutrients that are in there. It's a great product, and it's if you go to bartonwebinar.com, we have our products listed on the bottom of that page, or you can go to bartonnutrition.com, which is our main website, And if you want to save 25% off, you enter the coupon code webinar25. And if you'd rather not save 25% off, just don't enter the coupon code and pay the full price. That's fine too. It all goes to a good cause. So helping our team and that. So follow-up question, or Steve also asked, Dr. Saunders, can you do these tests, the ones you were talking about earlier, even if a person is in a different city or a different state than you are?
Yeah, we wrote them down at one point and said, okay, these are the tests that you should have. I think it's probably on either an old webinar or it's something that Leslie put up at one point and said, go to your doctor and ask for these tests, because if I don't have a license in your state, then no, I can't order them for you, kind of thing. But I can recommend them, and then you can go to your whoever your practitioner that orders tests and say, okay, I'd like these tests so that I can know what type of diabetes I have.
Today's Fixed Blood Sugar webinar is sponsored by Synacroma, our best-selling advanced blood sugar support formula. Now, thousands of people around the world are taking Synacroma every day as part of their program to fix their blood sugar using natural ingredients that simply work. Now, Dr. Saunders formulated Synacroma to meet key nutritional deficiencies that most people have unknowingly suffered from for far too long. With Synacroma, you get a blend of 6 key ingredients. The perfect combination of chromium, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2, which it's important to take those two together, selenium, vanadium, and our 10-to-1 cinnamon bark extract. Now, if you're not already using Synacroma, I highly recommend that you give it a try and see how it helps your energy, your weight, and your blood sugar numbers. You can get Synacroma at bartonnutrition.com or on Amazon. If you get it at bartonnutrition.com, you can enter the coupon code webinar25 and you'll save 25% off at bartonnutrition.com. But I realize some people like to go to Amazon as well. So anyways, Synacroma, highly recommend. Now let's get you back to the Fixed Blood Sugar webinar.
Yeah, okay. From Andy, my recent A1C was 6.4. I've just finished medications to clear an infection of H. pylori, and in the last month lost 24 pounds. I have to wait 4 weeks before a retest to confirm H. pylori has been eradicated. My doctor wants me to regain some weight and hence wants me to eat 2,000 calories a day. My current weight is 184 pounds. What foods can I eat to balance diabetes, LDL, and blood pressure?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Okay. So, gosh, if I can explain this to everybody, this is a great kind of a situation. It's this whole big problem here, the H. pylori, the taking antibiotics for 2 weeks, which isn't just one, it's like 3 antibiotics, and it's like broad spectrum, killing everything in your body kind of thing, and losing weight because you can't eat because your stomach hurts so much, and then if you don't want to lose weight, then that can be a problem. And then so having all of those issues put together with diabetes especially, there is a simple way of handling this. And number one, how do you prevent the H. pylori from coming back? I mean, we all have H. pylori, sort of, but we don't have infections with H. pylori. We have colonization, and so it turns out that the best thing we could do is the opposite of what we're told to do. So everything that we were told. So like, I was a microbiologist before I went to medical school. That was my undergraduate study, was microbiology, and so everything is like, medical microbiology and virology, and these are all bad, and they do all these horrible things to people, and you have this Klebsiella and staph infections and stuff, and all these bacteria that cause these infections, including H. pylori. But what we're just beginning to understand is that's not the whole picture. That actually the big picture is the more bacteria you're exposed to, the more bacteria you have in your intestines, the more varieties of bacteria you have, the less problems you're going to have with infections. So women who had mastitis, for example, they could cure it just as well by adding probiotics as they did by antibiotics. Either one worked just as well to cure the mastitis. And that's true with urinary tract infections, and it's true with H. pylori as well. So H. pylori is a single bacteria that gets into it likes high acid environments. But what is needed is not less bacteria, it's actually more. So here you have this situation that's horrible in that you can take these 3 different antibiotics along with some other things to eradicate your H. pylori. But H. pylori is always around, so it's going to come back. But in the process, what you're doing is killing all the bacteria in your intestines that are needed to prevent that from becoming a recurrent or a chronic problem. So the number one best thing you can do for all of this whole situation that you have is just eat fiber, a super high fiber diet. You should be eating like 40 to 60 grams of fiber a day. And I don't know how much you know what that is, but like a plate full of salad is like 4 grams. So that's like 10 plates full of salad a day. Or an apple is about 4 grams. So that would be like 10 apples a day. So we're talking about a lot of food here. If you're going to have that much. Beans are really good. Beans have about 10 grams per cup. So if you eat a cup of beans, there you go. You got 10 grams of fiber. That's a good start. Anyway, so if you're doing a very high fiber diet and broad spectrum where you're doing, you have beans, and then you have root vegetables like jicama and beets and arugula and carrots. And then you have greens, and then you have a brassica. You should have like some kind of brassica vegetable every single day. Because that really grows the good bacteria. It has the sulfur amino acids in it that grow the good bacteria. So the best thing you can do for this kind of a problem is to eat a very high fiber diet. And if you go in the Barton Diabetes Solution Kit, Barton Publishing Diabetes Solution Kit, phase 1 has a list of free foods. And you'll notice that all those free foods are very high in fiber. And free means you don't have to count them. It means they're not off your diet at any time. So if you've already eaten up to your 20 grams of carbs, you can still have broccoli, you can still have cauliflower, you can still have lettuce, you can still have celery. All of those things are in the free foods. Yeah. So more, in this case, more fiber is better, because what you want is stability. You want what's called resilience of your bacteria, so you don't get infections in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. And then what would you say about like the healthy gut support product that we have, like for, the different types of probiotics and things? How does that work in with that?
Okay, so healthy gut support has prebiotics, which are the good kind they're the fiber that grows the good bacteria. And then it has probiotics, which are the kind of bacteria you want to grow in there. And then, that's actually a good question, because the fact that you've been on antibiotics for a while, and that destroys a lot of the good bacteria, adding a probiotic would be a good idea, and adding a prebiotic would be a good idea. That's the fiber stuff. And then the other thing that the healthy gut support has is digestive enzymes to help digest these things. So I would, just as a rule, after having finished all the antibiotics and everything, take a healthy gut support, one with each meal. Just every time you eat a meal, take a healthy gut support. That'll give you the probiotics. It'll add in some more prebiotics besides the fiber that you're eating, and also help in digestion with enzymes.
Yeah, very good. All right. Let's see. And just a reminder, our products are available at bartonwebinar.com if you scroll to the bottom, or bartonnutrition.com. And the coupon code is webinar25. Okay. So Rosalind, hi, Dr. Saunders. When I started with you all, I had a spinal surgery. I had several vertebrae overlapping in my neck, and it got to the place where I couldn't peel a shrimp. When I got out of the hospital, my blood sugar was about 300 to 400. I got it down to 138. Recently, I started having muscle spasms. I started taking the muscle relaxers just to get it to subside. From the surgery, I've been on gabapentin, 300 milligrams. Well, my blood sugar started elevating to 158 and 196. So I started reading side effects and found that the relaxers were raising it again. So I stopped and it started dropping again. Anyway, I'm struggling to learn what my body can and cannot handle. Dr. Saunders, I like ice cream. I'm struggling not to have it. I'm trying to drink Gundry's Pro Plant Shake in place, but it's not like ice. I don't have to have it every day, but it satisfies my cravings. I can do without the cakes, cookies, and anything else, but I like real veggie chips and I like ice cream. How can I curb this?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, this would be one of those kind of questions that you just want to have like a group seminar here where everybody can contribute, and because there's a lot of people out there that are dealing with your problem, and you know, you think you're the only one, and I'll bet there's like 50 or 60 people who are listening right now who are going, oh yeah, I got that. Oh yeah, I'm dealing with that. Okay, so me personally, everybody looks at me and like everybody, I don't know, my patients look at me and they go, well, you don't have any of these problems. Yes, I do. Man, I'm the kid, when I was 5 years old, I would scrape candy off the sidewalk that was kind of melted in from the sun and eat it. I would take gum off the bottom of the table and chew it. I would.
That's why you're so healthy.
Sugar was a big thing to me. I just have a sweet tooth and I just love it. So what have I done in the past? Well, you know, I had Skittles in my car for a long time and I was popping Skittles all the time. And then I go, well, that's not very healthy. I should change out. So then I had a little bag of raisins in my car. And then after I read something about raisins causing tooth decay. So I'm like, okay, yeah. And they're just little bags of sugar anyway, right? So that's not a good thing. So I switched to baby carrots and raw almonds. So sometimes I'll have baby carrots and sometimes I'll have raw almonds. And that's kind of been like, I've been able to even have those intermittently to satisfy the cravings. But I know what cravings are when you're going around your opening cupboards going, oh, there's got to be something in here that I can eat. Substitution is the only way to curb the cravings. It really is. So what do you substitute with? You know, and it's really interesting. I have found since I've been like eating raw almonds, each almond has a little different flavor. You know, they're not like, everyone is not the same. And so I'll eat one, finish it, and then I'll eat another one. And then carrots too, those little baby peeled carrots, those little bags that come in. Each one of those has a different flavor. So my mind works differently now, but it's taken years. This is like since 2000, like even before that was when I was eating Skittles. So 20 years plus of dealing with this cravings thing. And yesterday I got home, there were some potato chips on the counter, and I ate some whatever cheesy potato chips. They were good, by the way. But yeah, I get it. This is not an easy thing to deal with. And the best thing is not to beat yourself up when you mess up. Just, oh, I had some ice cream. Okay, fine. And I do that all the time. That don't beat yourself up. Just go, okay, we'll try a different substitution. If the shake doesn't work, when my kids would have a birthday party and they would make shakes, I would make a strawberry smoothie or something out of just strawberries and fruit and put pineapple in it or something and make a smoothie. And that was pretty good. It satisfied, and I didn't have any ice cream. Yeah, you got to substitute. You got it.
I remember I was in a Chick-fil-A like 6 or 7 years ago, and cutest thing ever. This little 3-year-old girl was walking with her mom eating an ice cream cone. She's like, I like ice cream, Mommy. I like it. It's like, yep. Ice cream tastes pretty darn good. That was.
Don't we all? I totally agree. I like it too.
But my wife makes really good smoothies as well. And ice, put in a good amount of ice. And I think she uses like a coconut almond milk blend and then some protein powders. She'll put in spinach, flaxseed, chia seeds, different things like that. Maybe some cacao powder, different things. Like, you can get creative, maybe a little bit of fruit, and yeah, that has that ice cream texture. That's a good, replacement as well. So, yep. All right. Good stuff. Let me get to the next one here. All right. Brian. Hi, guys. Last week we talked about metformin's effect on muscle building. Do protein drinks have any effects that I might not like? I'd like to get more gains from all this time I spend in the gym.
Okay. Great question. Okay. So do protein shakes actually increase muscle mass? The answer is yes and no. You have to have sufficient protein or you're not going to increase muscle mass. So if you're deficient or low in protein, your muscles will get stronger, but they won't increase in mass. And there are certain anabolic hormones that affect that, of course. So your question, though, for me is, do protein shakes have a bad effect? So I'll tell you a story about my CrossFit coach. So my CrossFit coach, I've been going to CrossFit for a long time. And he says, hey, can I ask you a question? I'm like, sure. He goes, well, I got this big belly and this belly just won't go away. And I try everything, man. I do sit-ups and I'm trying everything. And it's just like I can't get ripped in the abdomen. So what do you do all day? He says, well, I exercise all day. I'm a CrossFit coach, right? And I'm like, yeah. So then what do you eat? And he says, well, I go home and I have my big shake, and it's a protein shake. So I put 6 eggs in there and I put the protein powder. I double up on the protein powder. And I'm like, okay, there's your problem. He goes home at night and does this. So he gets this high protein meal at night. And so what's going to happen is going to raise the blood. It's going to raise the insulin, and it's going to cause insulin resistance. And the excess protein actually increases insulin. So the answer to your question is that these protein powders or protein drinks, even if they're like eggs, like he put in, you're still increasing your insulin or your chances of insulin resistance. Some people are really sensitive to protein and will make more insulin, like he did. So the belly is because of insulin. That's what the belly fat comes from. So when you see belly fat on somebody, it's always an insulin issue. Sometimes it's cortisol, but the cortisol makes you resistant to insulin. So it's still actually an insulin issue immediately anyway. So that may be a problem if you're drinking protein shakes. So one of the things, like during this, I don't recommend protein shakes. I wouldn't recommend you do it at all. And as far as working out, that's good. But if you want to build muscles, what you need are anabolic hormones. That's the good thing. So what if you have protein in the morning? So if you have like a couple of eggs, 2-3 eggs in the morning, and the best way to cook an egg is to have it the white solid and the yolk soft, and that's the most nutritious way to eat an egg. And then that's enough protein to increase your muscle mass if you have the anabolic hormones, which you get by doing our 6-10 reset. And that is no food after 6 and go to bed by 10. So if you're asleep by 10 and you haven't eaten after 6, then you'll make human growth hormone, because you don't make human growth hormone if you're awake after 10 o'clock. And that HGH is really important for building muscle, because that initiates other anabolic hormones. And these anabolic hormones are what builds your muscle bulk. And remember, we talked about metformin. It blocks that, the mTOR, so that you can't build the bulk. So if you do your 6-10 reset, eat breakfast and have protein for breakfast, that is what my CrossFit coach did. And his belly went down and he got ripped in his abdomen.
There you go.
Great.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Yeah, I love these little tips of the trade here that you teach us. That 6-10 reset you've been teaching for a long time, and that oftentimes is the one game changer for people that gets them over the hump or whatever, breakthrough to finding that success that they're looking for, combined with everything else. So that's the thing about these webinars, is you learn multiple different things, and if you implement all of them, like, they're stacking on top of each other, and just so good for health and reversing type 2 and all that. So good stuff. All right, Jim says, can you discuss how stress causes increased blood sugar? Isn't it due to the effects of cortisol? How much cortisol has this effect? How high can life stress increase circulating cortisol?
Oh, that's a great question. And the answer is so much more complex than cortisol. So yes, cortisol is a big factor in that, but there are a whole bunch of things that happen when the cortisol is released that make you resistant to insulin. They cause you to put out more sugar, so it causes your insulin goes up and your glucagon goes up with the cortisol. But it's not just from cortisol. Stress causes multiple effects on the body in how your energy is used, so that you have more energy for your muscles and less energy for other parts of your body. If we could reduce stress, we would reduce almost all illnesses across the board, including cancer, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease. The top 10 causes of disease are primarily stress induced, and so it's not just the blood sugar. It's everything changes. How your liver detoxes changes. How you use energy changes. How your brain works changes. How your memory works changes. And this is all multiple effects of stress. So don't underestimate stress. If we were to look at a graph of all of the effects on our health span, and that means how long you live a healthy life, not how long you're in bed, but how long you live a healthy life. All of the drugs, all the supplements, even the Barton nutrition supplements, all the exercise, all the diet stuff, even our book and all that has maybe a 10 or 20% effect on your health span. 10 to 20%. Well, what's the 80 to 90%? It's stress. So your question about stress is the best question ever, and less is better. But remember, there's good stress and there's bad stress. So some stress is, some stress is good. So we're talking about an HIIT, HIT, exercise program. What are you doing to your body? You're stressing your body, right? But what you're not doing is overstressing your body. So that's why the interval training is so good. You reach your muscle max on your muscles, but you don't overstress the muscle. You get up to that, and then you let it relax. Good stress is called eustress, and that's really good. So just continue on with that and decrease the other stress, the bad stress in your life.
Yeah.
It's big.
Somebody shared a brand of low carb ice cream that I'll just give a shout out to. Rebel ice cream, REBEL. You can find that often in health food stores. I think if you just Google Rebel ice cream, their website will come up and show you like where you can get that. But it's like 6 grams of carbs, I believe, and they use like erythritol and monk fruit extract for the sweetener, I believe. So like, yeah, that's a better substitute than just going all in on real ice cream, I guess. So, yeah.
But don't forget, some people are sensitive to artificial sweeteners, and just
Right.
the sweet taste will cause insulin to go up. So it's not
Right.
It's not like, oh yeah, I can eat as much of that as I want, or I could eat it every day because it's only 6 grams of carbs per serving. Some people will have a problem with it. So you have to monitor your blood sugar and see if that makes a difference, because it might.
Yeah, that's another tip that if somebody is stuck and they can't, lose additional fat or whatever, having issues getting their blood sugar, it might be that taste of sweet. So eliminate anything from your diet that has a sweet taste, even if it's artificial or even natural, like stevia or monk fruit or erythritol or all the various other things that are out there. Even our Fiber Greens product has sweetener in it, because you kind of need a little of that to get it down. But yeah, if you're stuck, like try just going with zero sweet taste.
Yep, good idea.
All right. Kathy asked, do I need to have my blood sugar between 70 to 80 every time I test?
No, not necessarily. Remember, there's so many factors involved in what your blood sugar is. But if you're getting down to 70 to 80 and a significant portion of the time, then that's great. That you're doing really well. But there are other factors involved. So if your blood sugar is dropping into the 50s, then your pancreas is going to say, whoa, we're too low here, and put out glucagon. It's going to tell your liver, make more sugar. So then it's going to go up to 100. So then you're like, oh, I didn't eat anything and my blood sugar is 100. It's not just about what you eat. There's a lot of things going on in your body to maintain that sugar in that range. So the 70 to 90 is an ideal place to be, but no, it's not always going to be there.
Someone else asked, how do you explain when blood sugar is normally in the 80s, but then it increases to 105 in the morning?
Well, that's what's going on, essentially. Yeah, we run into that a lot because over that long period of time, now your stomach's completely empty. Your intestines are empty. You're not absorbing anything. So where's your sugar coming from? And you've got insulin blocking. You can't use fat for energy. And so the blood sugar starts dipping down, and then the glucagon gets released, and then your liver starts putting out extra sugar. So then it jumps up and you didn't eat anything. Yeah. So the way the system works, it's very complex. It's not just I eat, blood sugar goes up. Yeah, that's part of it, especially if you're insulin resistant. But there's a lot of other factors involved.
Mm-hmm. I think some people, myself included, blood sugar is higher in the morning, and then throughout the day it comes down, pretty quickly. Even after eating meals, it's down. So it's probably not that big a deal if it's 105 in the morning and comes down in the lower. I mean, that seems like a pretty good number. So. Yeah. Can I take Synacroma and Berberine at the same time? If yes, how should I take it?
The answer is yes. And how you take it is you can take them at the same time. There's not a problem with that. Berberine has a different effect. It's kind of similar to what metformin does, and it doesn't affect the blood sugar in the same way that the cinnamon does. And the Synacroma, of course, has some minerals and vitamin D in it, so that it improves the way the body uses blood sugar. But Berberine has a different effect. So you're getting about, what, 500 milligrams of berberine-ish, and they'll recommend on the bottle maybe twice a day. And that's fine. You can take it twice a day. And then in the morning, you're just taking the Synacroma in the morning, unless you're just starting, and you may take it twice a day for a while.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to transition a little bit here and talk about my background here. So you can see behind me is a picture of the backyard of the Oasis Healing House that is in Arizona, just north of Scottsdale. Looks like we had somebody, JW, that lives in Scottsdale, so we might be able to visit with him. But we have set a date for our first health retreat that we're going to do with Dr. Saunders. It's August 18th through the 21st or 22nd, somewhere in there. And it's going to be our pilot launch. We're going to do it. We're not exactly sure how it's going to go. So we're looking for some willing participants. We'll probably have a little bit lower price on this first one, just as we kind of get used to doing it and work out some kinks and stuff. But if you'd be interested in spending 3 days with Dr. Saunders in person at a beautiful place with a pool and a hot tub and massage chair, massage bed, a relaxation room.
I don't do massaging. No.
It's done by the chair.
And one of the things that we're going to do is, before you even come, we'll have blood tests done. We'll have like an evaluation all set, so that what I can do is sit with each person and personally help them with how to get back to health and what kinds of things need to be done. So that would be an important part of it.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that, if you want to learn more, right now we're taking, we just want to hear from you by email, and Leslie has been our main contact person for that. So I'll put her email address in the chat here. Leslie at Barton Publishing, if I can spell right, .com, and send her an email and tell her you're interested in the health retreat. And we'll get more information to you, and then we can start ordering you that test kit like Dr. Saunders talked about. And this will be, it's in between Cave Creek and Scottsdale, Arizona. So you can fly into the Phoenix airport, or if you live locally, you can drive there. And we're looking for about 8 to 10 people that would do this with us, and it's going to be a great time. We're going to be eating healthy. We're going to be practicing the 6-10 reset. We'll probably go on a few nature hikes. The property,
we're going to be getting a lot of vitamin D.
Yeah, a lot of sunshine. Yeah, it might be really hot because it's
Arizona in August.
Yeah,
but it's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat. It's only 118 in the shade. Yeah. So send us an email, Ernie. Yeah, I need you to send us an email, Leslie at bartonpublishing.com. If you're interested, we're making a list right now, and we'll be reaching out in the next week or two with details, pricing, travel information. We only have 4 bedrooms here, so we're probably going to have people staying. I'm planning to rent like an Airbnb nearby as well, so we'll have a couple different houses, but we'll spend the days together. It'll be a time of education, fellowship, community, cooking together, practicing all the stuff that we do. It's really an immersion in a transformation lifestyle for this, and I think it's going to be really fun and powerful, and in a beautiful place. So. What else are you going to be doing there, Dr. Saunders, that people would get excited about?
Well, I don't know if anybody get excited because the idea that I have is partially give individual attention to each person of what do you need, and then have a community, like forming a community, because it really helps to have other people. And so we're going to have discussions. We're going to have group discussions on how do you handle the cravings? How do you handle getting to sleep at 10 o'clock at night? How do you not eat after 6 when everybody's going out at 8 o'clock at night? How do you do this stuff? And so we have group discussions on stuff like that. And then specific lectures or discussions on how to handle other health issues, just general health kinds of things, from diabetes to cancer to metabolism to what is longevity and how do you really live a longer health span. Those are the kinds of things that we'll be discussing a lot, as well as practicing.
Yeah, our team has spent quite a bit of time with you over the years with, when we've done team retreats or trips together. And when we have like the fireside chats, those are always so valuable. Our team members and our spouses will interact, and they always love it. They learn a lot. They're able to ask you questions. And we don't just stick to diabetes. We talk about all sorts of different things related to health and longevity and that. And it's something special to be, in the same place together and living the human experience and learning from you. So it's not going to be cheap. Somebody asked what the cost is going to be. I don't have that figured out yet, but it is not going to be cheap. This is a high end experience. We want people to feel like they're, this is high value, but you're going to be paying for it. So this is something, to get Dr. Saunders to fly in, get a couple people from our team to fly in and pay for the accommodations and provide different food and testing and supplements and different things like that. It's going to be multiple thousands of dollars for sure. And so I realize this isn't for everybody, but we do these weekly webinars that you're on right now. These are free. And so you can get a lot of that same value just being on these webinars. But if you want the next level, the high end experience, where we're going to be forming friendships as well, then that's what this health retreat will be about. So send an email to Leslie@bartonpublishing.com to get on that list. And then we will send out that information, and it'll be first come, first serve as soon as we launch that. So I'm excited to show you guys more about that. Found a really beautiful property, like the landscaping, just like you feel like you're in an oasis in the middle of the desert. It's just beautiful. It's kind of got an old Santa Fe territorial style feel to it. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been one of my little side projects the last few months, getting that house furnished and set up with all the different things that we need and stuff like that. So, all right. Well, it is about that time, Dr. Saunders. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for calling in and joining us live on the Zoom call. And we'll let you go, Dr. Saunders. I'll close up shop here. So thanks.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Today's Fixed Blood Sugar webinar is sponsored by Synacroma, our best-selling advanced blood sugar support formula. Now, thousands of people around the world are taking Synacroma every day as part of their program to fix their blood sugar using natural ingredients that simply work. Now, Dr. Saunders formulated Synacroma to meet key nutritional deficiencies that most people have unknowingly suffered from for far too long. With Synacroma, you get a blend of 6 key ingredients. The perfect combination of chromium, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2, which it's important to take those 2 together, selenium, vanadium, and our 10-to-1 cinnamon bark extract. Now, if you're not already using Synacroma, I highly recommend that you give it a try and see how it helps your energy, your weight, and your blood sugar numbers. You can get Synacroma at bartonnutrition.com or on Amazon. If you get it at bartonnutrition.com, you can enter the coupon code webinar25 and you'll save 25% off at bartonnutrition.com. But I realize some people like to go to Amazon as well. So anyways, Synacroma, highly recommend. Now let's get you back to the Fix Blood Sugar webinar.
So yeah, just wrapping up here, and hope you enjoyed today's webinar. Leslie should be back next week, hopefully. You can say a prayer for her. She's just getting a little physical therapy on her knee, and she said she was pretty exhausted, so she wasn't able to join us today. But yeah, lots of good questions that came in today, and love to hear from you guys. Thanks for sharing your stories too. I didn't really get to read all of the stories that you shared, but always love to hear that. And that's the other thing too. If you want to hop on a one-on-one Zoom call with Leslie, she would love to sit down with you, record that call, hear your story, and then share that on our YouTube channel and with other people to share as well. Speaking of our YouTube channel, so if you go to bartonwebinar.com, there's a link to our YouTube page there. You can find the archive of all the other webinars that we've recorded for the past 2.5 years. Tons of different questions are in there. Most of those have, we'll list in the description. It'll talk about like which questions were answered, which topics we covered, different things like that. So apologies if we weren't able to get to your question today. We did get through most of them that were in the Q&A section though. So thanks for putting them in there. And let's see. Yeah, that coupon code is webinar25. Just enter that. It's a promo code as you check out on Barton Nutrition or bartonwebinar.com. So we've now got 11 different nutritional supplements, and most of them have been formulated by Dr. Saunders. They are products that help with nutritional deficiencies, vitamins and minerals, specific ailments. Like here we've got Nervala. This was our second supplement that we ever launched, and this is to help people with neuropathy, nerve pain, different things like that, which is often caused by type 2 diabetes. And I personally take Nervala frequently because it just helps me sleep better at night. It kind of cools down any overheating nerves or restless legs, things like that. I take that in combination with our magnesium easy relief, matches my shirt, easy relief magnesium spray. Just spray it all over your body. There we go. Just rub it in a little bit and it absorbs right in through your skin. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for using our products, for following the Diabetes Solution Kit. Thanks for sharing your success stories and being a part of our family here. And we have a great team. We love to help you guys, and we hope that you guys will join us on the next webinar, which will be next Wednesday at 1:00 Central Time. So with that, I bid you all a goodbye and a God bless. Take care. We'll see you next time.